I'm super pumped to introduce you to our special guest for today. Her name is Kendra Swalls. Kendra is a wife, a mom of two, photographer, and educator. In 2012, she started her very first business, Paisley Lane Photography, and everything changed. What started as a hobby alongside her teaching career quickly turned into a successful business. In 2017, she left her teaching career behind to run her photography business and start the Girl Means Business brand and podcast. Now she helps women, just like you, take their business from survival mode to success mode, using the same relationship marketing strategies that have been the foundations for her business success. I can't wait to get into this episode. Let's go.
Hey, you guys, that was really good to hear about Kendra. We're excited to dig in more with her.
Yes, we're so excited for you guys to meet Kendra. She is amazeballs, as y'all just heard. So without further ado, let's just bring her on here.
That's exactly
so we can
right.
meet her.
Yes. Hey, Kendra.
Hey, guys.
Good to see you, girl.
You too.
Well, your backdrop looks awesome. I love the wall. And
thank you.
Did you do this yourself or is it wallpaper?
I did it myself because I'm crazy and I have these ideas that my husband hates. But no, I couldn't find anything I liked. So I just made it work myself.
It's really beautiful. Well, if
Thank
y'all listen
you.
to the podcast, now you got to go to YouTube and check it out.
Exactly.
It's really pretty.
Yes.
Well, where are you tuning in from? We're in North Carolina. So where are you at?
I am in the Dallas, Texas area. So I actually live in a really small town outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area called Justin, where Justin cowboy boots come from.
Oh,
so that's where I am. Yeah.
You know, my first pair of in the summer, and it was so much fun. I was like, oh my gosh, there are too many to choose from. I mean, so I got some that would kind of go with everything, but I love them so much. Do you wear cowboy boots a lot?
I do sometimes. I mostly like if I just want to kind of play the part of being a Texan. But yeah, no, we have like 3 or 4 stores here. And I mean, like that's pretty much all the town of Justin is, are like these big warehouse outlet boot places. And so people come from all over. So you have like the work boot store, then you have like the fun, like wear out on a, girls' night kind of section. And so it's, there's lots to choose from here.
Yes.
I can believe it.
And I never tried boots until I was at the store and I was like, wow. I was like, no, these vary and they get very high. I'm like, dude.
They're like an investment, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Well, we're really, really happy that you're here. And we've gotten to know Kendra because we were on Kendra's podcast. And, we were like, oh my gosh, we cannot wait to tell our girls about you. And so all of our women that tune in, just so y'all know, this is an entrepreneur lifestyle show and podcast. So everyone that we bring to you, we're like, no, she's a gem. So we want you to connect. And so all the details are in the show notes. But, without further ado, we're going to dig right in and get to know you more. And we want to educate and level up our audience. So we're ready for it. So we want to know some about you, like who you are, and like what you do and actually who you serve, Kendra, with your business.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little bit of my background, I was actually a elementary school teacher for years. That was kind of my passion in life. And then I left that when I had my daughters. I have 2 girls. And I started a photography business here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It became super successful. And through that, I sort of started a community of other photographers, other entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs. And I started like getting questions a lot of, well, how did you do it? And how were you able to quit your job? And how did you get your business to this level? And so from that, I started the Girl Means Business podcast. And that led into coaching and teaching other, mostly mompreneurs. So I primarily work with moms who are trying to kind of build their business while raising their family, whether they also have a 9-to-5 or they're, working from home. They're trying to do it all and they, just kind of get stuck. So I help them get unstuck and get their business moving forward. And it's so fun because there's something about like working with moms that I really just can relate to and connect to. And There's a lot of, similarities, the struggles, no matter what age group your kids fall in, that you can relate to. And yeah, it's so much fun.
Wow, I love that. One of the things that you just said that I loved, and we talk about it a lot with our people too, just really letting them know the importance of niching down. So I love that exactly, like not just woman in business, exactly who you are talking to and speaking to and working with, and that you even niche it down to like moms in business, mompreneurs. That is so crucial when it comes to like your marketing, I'm sure, when it's time for you to book clients and coach clients, because you know exactly what their pain points are. So I love that you said that. That is something that we teach, and we try to niche ourselves down. Even sometimes, like every year, I'm like, okay, how can I niche myself down even more? Like, get laser focus on who I'm serving and who I'm speaking to.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of the things that we know you do also is you talk a lot about relationship marketing strategies, right? And so for us, collaboration is huge. Obviously, we collab a lot, the A&O, and we have all of our Ready, Set, Record mastermind women who we encourage them to collab with each other as well, because it's so powerful when you are in this collaborative spirit. It's great for just women anyways. Like we're already just, or most of us try to be, let's do it together, right? So with that being said, can you give us one strategy on really relationship marketing? Because I know you talk a lot about that in your business.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So there's so many different things I could say here. I will say probably my number one piece of advice I give when it comes to relationship marketing is to give value, because I always think about it, and I use this kind of analogy of, if you have this girlfriend that you meet up with every week for like lunch, and every time the two of you get together, all she talks about is how great she is, how wonderful her life is. Look at these new things that she just bought, or this new vacation she just booked or went on. It's going to start to get to the point where you're going to feel really one-sided, and you're going to stop wanting to go to lunch with her each week. But if she comes to lunch and you have this mutual back and forth conversation, she's offering you support and value, and you're offering support and value, and you're going to be excited to show up each week. And so treat your business like that friend that you want to have lunch with each week. So give value, offer support, encouragement, share whatever you can. Don't feel like you have to hold everything back behind this kind of paywall from your audience. I think that's the biggest thing that I always tell my clients is, don't be afraid to give. And I know it sounds cheesy because it's a relationship marketing strategy, but build those relationships. I mean, that's why it's called that. You have to build those relationships, because if your audience doesn't feel connected to you, then they're not going to have a reason to work with you or purchase anything from you. So you have to have a two-way street kind of relationship where you're giving and they're giving and you're helping each other.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's a really good analogy, because we've been in those situations, and I say we, like us right here on camera, we're like, I'm not going back out to eat with her. She's too aggravating. Like, why did I come? It was a waste of an hour.
Yep. Everybody has that friend. Everybody has that one person that you're just like, oh, okay, I'm done.
Yes. Yeah. And I find that when you find that squad, right, these are the women that you're like, I can go to lunch with you. And I left going, oh my gosh, I learned so much. Instead of thinking that you have to pull information from somebody and they're holding back. I think that's really awesome too. And, you coach and we coach, right? We coach people, and some things, it gets scary. And they're like, well, if I give too much, then what are they paying me to be a coach for? And they're like, well, they're paying you to be a coach because you're actually talking to them and coaching them on a regular basis. But that value that's awesome. I'm really glad. This is why we on the same alignment. That's awesome. Yeah, so good. So you have to be one that is researching and reading and really finding out more that you can help yourself, right? You're filling your cup constantly so you can fill other women's cup. So are there some books, like it would be great, like if you have 3 books that you're like, okay, now these 3 books right here have changed everything for me. So that would be really good for our audience to hear, and like why those books, and did someone share that with you, right? And that's why you picked those up to read.
Yeah. So I think having an education background, like I always love learning. And so and I've been a big reader. I think, I try to do, especially with quarantine this last year, I had a goal of like 1 like business book and 1 for fun book each month. So the 3 that I would pick, the first one, it's one that a friend of mine gave me. So we met through photography. She was actually living in Las Vegas. I was going to Las Vegas with my husband for a work trip, and I was looking for someone to help me out with a photo shoot while I was there. And then we just became really good friends. And she sent me this book. It's called The One Thing. And she was like, I feel like you need to read this. And because she was kind of my sounding board for a lot of things in my business and my life. And it was like one of those sort of light bulb moments. And so the whole idea is like, just focusing on one thing at a time and not feeling, because I tend to be very like ADD and all over the place, and I'm an idea person. So I try to do all the things. And she was like, I think this will help you really like hone in on what you need to be focusing on. So that was a really big one, because I think, especially since I work with moms, we do try to do all the things and be all the things at one time. And so this is something I always recommend is like, hey, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you aren't getting everything done, read this book. I think it'll help you. The second one is kind of along those same lines. It's called Atomic Habits. It's a newer one that I read. It's so good. It's all about, like creating habits and letting go of old habits and how habits are formed. And so that's been really good for, especially since like when I transitioned from being in the classroom to being home all the time, I needed a little more structure. I didn't have a lot of those habits in place. And that's helped me really kind of get some routines in place that have helped me in my business. And then my third one is probably my favorite to recommend, and it's called Building a Story Brand. And this book, oh my gosh, it's on the bookshelf behind me. If I could pull it, I have so many like tabs put in, like those little sticky tabs that it looks like a freaking rainbow down the side, because like the whole thing's highlighted and underlined and notes everywhere, because that was the first time I really like understood the power of storytelling in your business and the power of just sharing not even just your story, but sharing like little nuggets in the way you present information and how it draws people in. And I think that has been such a transformational piece in my business. I used it originally with my photography and telling like the story of my clients and the story of these different sessions I was doing. And then I've transitioned it into using it in the Girl Means Business brand. And that's like by far my number 1 book that I recommend to everybody.
Aww. Well, I'm so glad you said that. I literally got mine about a month ago. And I think I got it about a month and a half ago. But I haven't had the opportunity to really dig in. I think I read the first couple chapters. But now that you said that, I'm like, okay, I'm about to go read this book.
Yeah. Well, and one of the reasons I like it is the way it's written. It's almost like a workbook. Like it gives you very actionable things to do, which I like. I need like action steps. And the way it's written, it's so action taking. Like that's what I love about it. So I think once you get into it, and you get into like the process of the storytelling, like the different pieces he has in place, you'll be like, ooh, I need to start doing all this. It's really fun.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get into that book. So when it comes to your area of expertise, this is the next question I want to ask. What are some of the mistakes that your clients or that you see your peers making that you are trying to constantly educate them on? Like, what are some of those things that you see and you're like, really probably shouldn't be doing it that way?
Okay, so 2 things come to mind, and they're both somewhat related. Okay. And one is how they're showing up on social media. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I see people who will start a business and they share like product photos, or I saw one the other day that was like a health coach, and her entire Instagram feed was like her dinners that she was making. Ooh. And so my thing there is, I'm like, I get that you're trying to show off like your business, but you are your brand. Like I want to see you. Like people buy from people, not because of, the beautiful photos they post on social media. And so I think sharing yourself and not being afraid, that whole know, like, and trust factor. They want to know who you are. They want to get to know, they want to like you and they want to trust you. They're not going to do that if you're just posting like stock photos and cute Canva quotes. You have to put yourself out there. And so I think that's the first one. And the second one is the people who put all of their eggs in one basket. And with that, I mean, like, everything is on Instagram and that's all they do, and I think having like multiple places where you can connect with your people. I'm a huge proponent of email marketing. That's a big part of what I teach in my coaching, is how to start an email list and grow your email list and use that. And I just came across a girl today who was talking about how her Facebook account, she was a photographer, it got hacked and they had to shut the whole thing down. So like 6 years of growing her following on Facebook was just gone like that. And luckily I'd been working with her and she was able to, she'd had an email list in place. But I see all these people who are like, social media is so great. Well, you don't own your social media following. So you have to be careful with that. It's a great platform. It's a great way to reach people, but you need to have, a backup plan. You need to have something else, a way to get a hold of your people if something happens to your accounts.
Wow. That is so good. And we say the same thing all the time. Like I've been helping women entrepreneurs for a while with their branding and marketing and things like that, or not so much marketing, but mainly branding. And the power of creating that email list is so powerful. And I totally suggest people have it, because like you said, I've been on the phone with my client as she's panicking because like someone is hacking her Facebook account. And it's like, okay, you have over 20,000 followers on that account. So it's like, it's so imperative that you have other streams. So I'm like, make sure you're showing up on not only your email list, but what other social media platform are you tapping into? And a lot of people are like, well, I don't have time to do this social media and this social media account. Well, a lot of the content that you post on one platform is so repurposable. You can repurpose that content and use it on different platforms. So you're not necessarily making up new content. It's just like, how can you use it in a way on this other platform? And especially like Instagram, Facebook, really and truly, you can post some of the content. So it's so important to, diversify where you are online, and also building that email list is so crucial.
Yeah. And if
I agree.
Started, we've been in situations where we're like, oh no, we don't have an email list, right? We've been at that place in business where you go, oh my gosh, but it's not too late.
It's not too late.
So if you have an established business and you're like, I don't have that, I don't know what to do, we'll just start it, but have someone that can coach you through that, which is great that you do that, Kendra, because that is something some people get lost in that sauce. They're like, I don't even know where to start. So you give them more clarity on that.
Yeah. And I work with a lot of like creative business owners. So they are really into like the product they create or the art that they're doing or whatever the business, like the core piece is. And they're not so great with the technology. They're not so great with the behind the scenes, which I totally get. And so I walk them through and show them like, okay, and I utilize a lot of my elementary school teaching tactics of like taking something really abstract and making it concrete and simple. And I'm like, okay, we're just gonna do step one. Step one, we're gonna choose an email marketing platform. That's all we're gonna do today. And then next time we'll start with, the setting up your workflows and things like that. And so I walk them through all that. And I do have, if it's okay for me to mention here, I do have like a starter kit for like an email marketing starter kit that I offer. It's completely free. It is, it includes like a little kind of 101 over like an overview of email marketing. It includes a Canva template to create your first lead magnet, which is what gets people onto your list. And it also has a welcome sequence like template. So you can just kind of copy and paste, drop it in your email program, and you'll like have a little welcome sequence ready to go. So I have all of that over on my website at girlmeansbusiness/email kit.
We're going to share that right now to the screen so everybody can check that out. I think that's phenomenal.
/ what email kit? Okay.
Yeah, I think that is a phenomenal thing that you have, because that is one place that you do. There's a lot of opportunities of where to start and what to do. And you might know, oh, I need to do that, but it's the actual get into like that how to do it. So that's awesome. Well, we just flashed it on the screen. It also is in the description in the show notes. So, if you need to go check that out, please go do that if you cannot see. But it is girlmeansbusiness.com/email kit. So grab that up. That is so cool. Yeah. See? And so, I love it. Well, I have to ask you this because we are in a place of, we're not traveling a ton these days. Do you know what I mean? We do a lot of work, right? You're busy. You're a mama. You're a wife. You are coaching, doing all the things. And it's like, I need a vacation. I'm turning my phone off. I'm gone for 3 days in my bathroom. In the bathroom. You're like, don't knock on the door. Maybe you could shut your eyes and you could literally just escape and go anywhere. Where would that be?
This is such a hard, because I have major wanderlust. I want to go to all the places, but I think the top of my bucket list places is New Zealand. I just everything I see about New Zealand seems like so beautiful, and you have such a mix of like, you're on this little like island, and so you've got the ocean, but then you also have like the inland areas, and I've just always heard that people there are super friendly and welcoming, and it just kind of seems like one of these magical places that shouldn't actually exist in real life, but it does. And so I feel like I need to see it at some point before I'm done here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no.
I haven't thought of New Zealand.
I've heard a lot of great things about New Zealand. I have a great friend, and her mom always talked about going to New Zealand. So it's like, yeah, it seems like a very fun place. My place is Dubai.
Oh, yeah. My cousins lived over in the Philippines for a couple of years for his job. And so they were like, since we're over here, we might as well travel to these places that we would normally never get to. And they actually went to New Zealand and then Tasmania. And they said that Tasmania was one of their favorite places they visited too.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To go.
Yeah. There really is. You do have to have a bucket list, because you will get very like, I want to go here, I want to go here, but you need a bucket list so you can check off like, okay, let's do this, and this is what it looks like and when. And I guess really even plan out what it looks like when you're there. Right?
Yeah.
I know that ahead of time too. Oh, that's fun for your dreaming and making that a reality. I love that.
I know. Someday.
It'll happen. Yes, I love it.
Well, since Amber and I, we're always on camera, right? We're always making reels, TikToks, videos, YouTube. You guys know us. We're the video queens. And so we're always like, before our videos, before we're recording, we're like doing our makeup, doing our things, our lashes. I'm wearing these glamnetic lashes today, which I love. I did not think I was going to love them as much as I did, but they went on so easily. So I'm super excited about this. Got a new pair in the mail coming, so I'm excited. But if you could tell us, like, what's some of your beauty secrets or tips or tricks that you just like, your go-to things to do, like before you're getting on camera or recording or showing up on your social media? What do you do?
Yeah. So first of all, my eyelash extensions, I'm not close enough, you can probably see them, but I get my lashes done every couple of weeks, and it's the one thing, like, I don't do my nails, I don't do it, but my lashes, because I can just get up and like go. I don't have to wear a ton of makeup to feel like I look like I'm not dying. And then the other thing is, like, I've always been huge into skincare. I actually worked for Clinique in college, but I was not like on their storefronts. Like, I was not like at the Dillard's counter or whatever. So I actually worked for the company. So they would send me to all these like dermatology trainings. I actually thought I wanted to go into dermatology for a while. And I became obsessed with skincare. And I went to a training one time, and this lady was like in her 70s and had amazing skin. And I asked her, I was like, what have you done? Like, your skin looks amazing. And she said her two things were, she exfoliates all the time, and she always wears sunscreen. And so ever since then, I was like, all right, I'm going to exfoliate. I'm going to wear sunscreen. And then now too, like, I'm really into like hydration. So of course, like, drinking my water, but also like hydrating my skin. So I always think like that's the foundation, is if you have good skin and you take care of your skin, then your makeup will look good when you put it on. But I've always been into that. So I exfoliate all the time. I use face masks and all the little gadgets. I love to play with different little tools and stuff, like the little rollers and, massagers and all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that you led with the skincare because makeup is beautiful and it is amazing, but it looks terrible on bad skin.
Yes. Yeah,
I
you have to
mean,
have a good palette to put it on.
yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't paint a crusty wall that has cracks. No, that's not cute for your home. You wouldn't do
Yep.
that for your face, but a lot of women do that, right? There are women that fall into that category and they don't know any better. They want to cover up. So thank you for that beauty tip because that just leads me to everything I say on my channel. Boom, Kendra just dittoed all that. I'm like,
well, and having two daughters that are getting to my oldest one's getting to the point where she wants to start wearing like a little bit of eyeshadow and lip gloss. And so I'm like, okay, it's time for me to start talking to her about like how to really take care of your skin because no one did that for me when I was younger. So it's been one of those things where like I want to start them young, like teach them how to take care of it so it doesn't become a problem later on.
Yes, so true.
Good,
I just
Mama.
recently I used to work at a school as well, similar to you. And but it's a school for refugees. And I just recently went there and did a skincare and makeup party with them. And that was the first thing that I talked to them about skincare. I was like, okay, I know makeup, but let's do this skincare first. And so after that, I think prior to that, before I went, I just really, one of the things when I went there to teach them about skincare and makeup, and I started thinking about like, what was I going to talk to them about in the process? It just really was laid on my heart that I wanted to not only tell them about what products to use, but be able to give them some of these products because they are a school who serves underprivileged youth and refugees, so they don't really have the resources to, get good skincare and makeup. So I'm so happy that I literally just have I've gotten so many people to donate and donate products and donate money to buy products. So I'm just about wrapping it up with all of my products. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be taking all of them their things. I have these cute makeup bags that I'm going to put names on. And I'm just so excited about that. So
I love that. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that. So this has been such a good conversation today.
So fun.
It really is. And it's so fun whenever you get to have time like this to do interviews because this is where collaborations are born. We're like, oh my gosh, you do this, Kendra. We've got to, reconnect and do this. So if you are listening right now, just know, go right now to Girl Means Business podcast. Go listen to more of what Kendra does. It is a great channel to subscribe to. And I don't just say that because she's on our show, but kind of. She's good. We
wouldn't have brought you.
We're not just bringing you anybody, okay? These are great women to connect with. And so it means so much to us that you were here today. You could have been anywhere. So we appreciate that so much. And
thank y'all.
Yes, ma'am. Well, go ahead and let everybody know where to connect with you. And by the way, her reels are fantastic on Instagram. I watch them and I'm like, how are you doing this so quick?
Instagram is definitely my go-to hangout spot. So I'm just at Girl Means Business on Instagram. Obviously the website, girlmeansbusiness.com. I am just getting ready to launch the updated version of my website. And so that's going to be like a home base where everything lives there. But yeah, the podcast. And then of course, my DMs are always open. So if somebody's listening to this and they have questions about anything, feel free to DM me. I love connecting with people through those conversations. We can even hop onto a Zoom call and chat for a little while too. So and thank you ladies for having me. This was so much fun. I love connecting with y'all. Obviously you're going to be on my podcast as well, so they can check out that episode. And this has just been amazing.
Yes. Well, Kendra will definitely be making sure everybody is following and connecting to you. And yes, it means a lot that you are here. So you guys, thank y'all for tuning in and listening. And we hope that you can go ahead and pick up those books that Kendra referenced to, because I think that's really going to help you kind of level up with what you do already and anything that you need from A&O. And Kendra, we are here for that. So thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.